as the Medical Association, no, Monya a copy of this report, committee in a report, no?
Unfortunately, no, Obi. Honestly, no, Nanka is some health professionals now are involved, no, which include doctors, would have been involved even in the outdooring of the report, but we didn't. We've had bits and pieces on radio and on TV, by watching and listening, and we have an idea what transpired.
Okay, as president of the GMA, we initial reaction to the what in this report, no air then.
Obi, if those the populace have been following what we say and we've been up to about these issues, and then they started and we've been commenting on it for several years. But even recent developments about this unfortunate situation may happen. We outlined a number of reasons that these issues have been lingering, to the issue about no birth syndrome, a broad time, which starts from the time the patient is determined to have a referral need to the time of contacting an evacuation, that is an ambulance, the response time of the service, transportation, what happens within the vehicle or the medium of transport, how the patient is received, the initial triaging process, what happens after initial assessment, and even moving patients around the hospital to free up space. I can't want them that. We are not surprised as to the findings, and it affirms to all of us we have a challenge on our hands as a nation in terms of our emergency care delivery to the people of this country. So, it re-emphasizes the point that the issues are systemic. I may enumerate here, beyond what I even said initially, there is funding issue, there's policy issues that ought all to be fixed, including the issue of personnel, which is inadequate, ill-trained, ill-prepared, and ill-motivated, and also the attitude of professionals. And all of these were captured and confirmed in this report. So we are not surprised after the findings.
Okay. Beyond the findings, some recommendations and so were made. And immediately after, the committee chairman, the report, minister also directed the chief director, Omuntu Huanamo, acting on the report immediately. Amongst other things, it was so more refer, and because of who represented Ghana Medical Association, some doctors I believe maybe your members to Kolebu management now sign refer one to more regulators, the Dental and Medical Council. What is answer so much saying?
I'm okay. We have the cause to issue a statement to our members, assuring them one, we would get the official copy, and two, follow up keenly, on the fallout of the committee's report, and then the recommendations specifically, and also reach the fact that members are they best support them to go through the disciplinary process. But Obi, the conversation after the presentation of the report is being tilted to suggest it appears that the problem is just the doctors and the other health professionals involved. And as I laid out earlier on, if we approach it that way, 10 years time, look, we will have this conversation again. At that time, I'll be on retirement. And it will happen again. Because that's happened, we had this conversation 15 years ago, and I'm still having it now. So whilst as an association, we don't hold brief for any culpability of any health professional, and I think we should broaden the conversation, not just doctors, any health professional, let's recognize the inherent hydra-headed problem that we have. So that, yes, while somebody or a health professional may be referred, for further investigation. And let me say here now, say what the committee has found, technically it is not a finding of guilt. You lawyers will probably call it initial finding, or on the face of it, it appears there
are some questions to answer. In the prima facie, yes.
And the prima facie would now have to go through a thorough process with the regulators or a disciplinary body set up by the employers at the various hospitals to look into it. It is at that point when they are done that is where pronouncement of guilt or otherwise or culpability will be declared. That is when we will say that somebody was guilty. Well, but the acquirers said that is where the conversation is geared towards, and I am very disappointed. So because of that, some of our members are even receiving threats. Social media handles. Yes, and they have been attacked with cyberbullied. You see, but for me, it should not be the focus. Like I said, we are not going to shield anybody, but we are going to support them to go through the process. So that is just one leg of it. But the other issues are so broad and mundane and so deeply rooted. Because you see, the number of ambulance vehicles we have in this country, which Emma described one on one, and so the number of properly trained emergency technicians are also more ambulance more. They can take good care of you in the right way to your destination. Almost 10. They are coming as emergency care drivers are the only scoop and to deliver. So once we are not holding brief for anybody, sad unfortunate incidents here happening. It is possible, say, and ambulance technicians will come and now almost 30 line energy super team is so in Kenya. You could see and it doesn't happen in most of the places. So we have issues about training capacity. We have issues about ambulance numbers. We have issues about ambulance responsiveness. Sometimes when you have problem hospital, open ambulance, now we see lucky now we can use
fuel. Yeah.
And you and I are aware of these stories. I have paid one before. I have all corners. So one of the hospital no say will be in a stroke. And after heart attack in the neighbor, no one never see mantra the gate waiting. And therefore, if there's no bed, then there's a problem. Almost so bad as there's a bed, the crown noir. If there are oxygen here, there are no oxygen. Or there's a bed, but bed near bed that you treat obia or heart attack. Then we move the obia when you stroke now, then about into that is why we have supported that. We were probably the first to raise this issue about this emergency command center. It's like a dashboard. They're collecting all the empty spaces and the capacities of the various hospitals across the country on a dashboard. Yes. Press center and say that case will mean direct to. Not that center receiving hospitals preparing to receive you. So that the issue or the term of no bed syndrome is an euphemism. In a couple of them say when I was euphemism for failed emergency care.
It's emergency care in Shadanya, Papa.
Thank you. And then equipment. Look, a lot of the hospitals are. Look, resuscitation equipment is almost non-negligent. Almost non-existent.
Yes.
Yes, it isn't there. And many places after 6 p.m. If you take Kolebu 37, those big hospitals within the center and then on the east side, over on the west side, over east side, after Kolebu, Kanichi Polyclinic Airport, Uko Williba, Wakotu Trauma Center. And so there's a challenge that we need to face. Over the Mikan say, yes, some people may have been culpable. Let's wait for the outcomes. However, let's use this opportunity as a nation and let's reflect and do the things that will not come to haunt us very soon. But you and I are potential patients.
Sure.
And we know the story that has happened concerning some very prominent people in society, how they died.
Yeah.
Some died in taxis because the emergency response system was not good. It's not because there was no bed
but
or
look,
an attitude of the healthcare professional.
Beyond the logistical challenge, which is very obvious. I mean, there is no gainsaying that point, no, even further. But Utia, it seems to be emerging, the fundamental problem our committee identify here was rather the attitude of the medical staff on duty. Professor Bedu Akwasaka said these medical staff had a duty of care and they failed in that duty of care. That seems to be the fundamental problem. Yes, logistics may not be there, but nipa nimpo abano ahokekane how only patient ne bekasa oni ebusuafo bekasa the attention a wode be ma omo. That seems to have been missing in this program. If you say any the conclusion of the committee.
So unfortunately, I disagree with you. That is the conclusion. Okay. It is not the conclusion, it's part of the conclusion.
Part, yes, that's fine.
If you, yes, so maybe I'll tell me, Mr. So it is the part of the conclusion. The part of the conclusion says that the attending healthcare professionals failed their duty.
Sure.
Which may be right. Let's even not say it is not true. Right. However, let me tell you, I am a lecturer. I practice medicine.
Okay.
I teach medicine.
Okay.
Part of the training of doctors includes the coding ethics and professionalism.
Yes.
And even when they qualify, before we throw them in, we take them through similar issues, and we police it. So the medical association has an ethics and disciplinary committee, and it's at various levels. The employer has one, the regulatory body has one. Of course, there are bad nuts, which we need to fish out anytime that we have in all other endeavors or profession.
Yes.
So, like I said, even if there is a culpability, let's wait till the conclusion comes. What I'm just saying is that, as that is true, because we as an association will certainly, speak to our doctors, and we continue to do so. Look, on almost every quarter, there is a session we call continuous professional development that we do and engage our members, and we echo and emphasize the need to be ethical and professional in their standards and what they do. Okay, so we don't shy away from that, and we'll continue to pursue that. Okay, but the question I'm just saying is that, yes, the conclusion may suggest so, but in the same conclusion or the findings, it talks about the establishment of other digital emergency center, and a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that as we speak, there isn't any valid regulation or guidance as to the emergency care in this country. There isn't. One was attempted 2011. It is not fit for purpose now. Okay, so I am saying that let these professionals go through the process, but whilst we are waiting for the outcome, and as we reflect as a nation going forward, yes, I say, the jigsaw in the puzzle, while we continue to have this cyclical issue, it's fixed.
It's fixed. Do you get the feeling as an association, sir, members maybe are being scapegoated?
Well, like I said, it appears so. Look, since the conversation started yesterday, it's all about the headlines. You can read, including your own portal. Doctors refer to this disciplinary committee, nurses refer to this disciplinary committee, and even with my conversation with you, it is veering towards that. Yeah. I spoke to Omanyene on Adam this morning. It was the same thing, and I pointed that out to him also. So it appears, yes, that somebody is being scapegoated. But we are saying that we uphold the highest professional, and we support the upholding of highest professional standards. And then can say, if you duly, no, let them go through the process. We are going to give them the support. That is it. But then, let's be cautious as a nation, and let's say that it's because when we refer them, case, to a case, we don't try.
Yeah.
Like, doctors, nurses, or China, let me, be cautious in saying this, but nobody knows tomorrow. and at meeting at will be at any time. And unfortunately, it might happen. So we don't want that. That is why we are saying that let's be cautious about how we approach this issue, and let's not just focus on the health professionals involved. Thank you.
Now, me members now receive threats near support ben amodemo Moses.
Okay, so as the president of the association, I have personally been in touch with them.
Okay.
All the people involved, and I've assured them our support to, through this difficult process. Cyberbullying, and so we are looking into it. If it continues, we would have to make an official report. We've also solicited the help of psychologists and some psychiatrists and healthcare professionals to give them the necessary psychological support for them to be able to go through this process. But I'll urge all of us, those of us listening and even beyond, at this stage, nobody has been pronounced guilty.
Yes.
The FIBIA means we all falter in one way or the other wherever we are. In Kenya, we're coming to mount the high horse to try and vilify somebody and cyberbully somebody. We don't want that. Let them go through the process. They are ready to submit. And when it is done, whatever comes out, the people of this country will be aware or be made known.
Very well.
Oh, committee report. Mo share media na se no metie sene niam akona media reho na media ko se oba tan be wo ne ba titi ne mo remu e de na ko school na ade be chin wakra efie se okwaba na esan be san wo kwam na oman no a owo mu no kakra nke betumi aya sebi ya debe jene nkwa.
Yes.
Esi uwu krade am kwentime nye die. Because even in an advanced country, people still die anyway. Yeah. But say obekwa ahuhiahia mu a ahuhiahia no nipa be wo adwen bi se senka sebi yetu anamo bi a ebia enka onhwere won kwana yentimi antu sa anamo no na ase ya bedru ba be nipa enkwa enhyeda enhia woni a yahye dade o makọ school akọfa ntete mu se o mu na sebe ye kwa hohihia mu se o mu wai na say areho na me generally I think I have a problem with the attitude of health professionals no towards ibinofo a o mu hododo o mu a o mu kwaje ayarehwe obi ani wiase a ye wo ba bi wo ho a baby miensa bi wo ha yekona nimia obi ani wa obi ne hondodo no a obekwa ayaresabia obi ani wa ne hondodo no a obede obekwa ayaresabia ba ukọ abrochire nom ni ade na wo hwe sometimes the attitude of health professionals when they see cases of emergency oba kra ekowo a awo no kra nya high risk awo kra wo be hu nipa be 10 12 30 minutes via ya bebusa wo say are you okay yakofa we yaba I say you could see a certain seriousness I say nipa nkwa ankasa no ehia but nega na ha me hu niema bebre wo be kokuma say ko for emergency obi beba
ewoji
I swear obi me ni ma hu se nipa be miensa wu obi beba unya bed na so the case is your emergency ya de neti akonwa mu betemi wu to na owu physical na owu ya wo be say ya de na to stretcher so ne ya de ntoma kuri ne ho ne ya de na atwene ba bi say as ya so spy o mo tem bi sa so I spy na amanfo okoba na o mu didi ya say there is no regard for human life. I don't know whether it's psychological because sometimes say uhu bebre a na fe de enye uhu bio but I think say as a country no aside the challenges are a war in terms of health facilities and the equipments no the attitude of not doctors some health professionals towards ayarefo no are especially omo ni bie kra de ene na abubu so I was say hweniye committee no Professor Ajimai Badua Kosa is one of the most experienced health professionals in Ghana I understand. So you're a pathologist.
You're a pathologist. Now
why director of Ghana Health Service. Na me or you be a medina chiachi or young chromias.
Yeah,
is somebody I follow a lot. I think that this is when you be a Bekwa Juma ye Basabas until Adia or Modia Banner recommendations are Omodia Banner. Yen shena for once. Yeah, in Trini Passo. Nanipa who's a crewman on Raya Day. Ewaha. Na untimi and Obian small Obias on Koye Doctor
and report. I mean, Saka main report, 64 slides. Wow. Key findings, number 1, Charles Emisa died of exsanguination. That's excessive loss of blood.
Wow. This is something Ebiankunya immediate medical attention care and I stop bleeding and kamujani
into due to right upper arm bone and soft tissue injuries causing damage to axillary and brachial arteries and veins following a road traffic accident. But key findings too are interesting. Death of Charles Emisa could have been avoided.
Fantastic.
By medical intervention at the police hospital, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and Akolebu, in the 3 major health facilities in Greater Accra region. Now,
Mono and Timmy and Quanem Wadia, Nanye say, I are for a Canada was be adding in Sagunito because a 2 pension, a war Dodua Hospital, a honey a dobeba, now one why a dobebano, a hononya, the kind of emergency healthcare, no, not just a Hussein.
Yes, and almost say the death could also have been avoided by application of compression on the laceration and packing of deeper wound during transportation in the ambulance. When we yes, and so the ambulance so
it raises issues about a Juma ambulance what Ghana as an ambulance what Ghana no Juma and say yatamwatum no near the woko a DA emergency health care near bet me in the ambulance say you be stabilize near the wire they could do we have most of the people are among some emergency panel you have fun ambulance more than be do baby because ambulance so free one healthcare point by call ABI referral point or the ambulance no keke and the one ya kwache yen sheda nya bibia se ne wo kan ye veins ni bebre connect to yakoma ho no enam yen sa ho indi se wonsa ho kan na moja no a wo se ko wakoma ho no wakoma no e pompe ko ni nyina na ya stop a ni nyina ba bonten a
the fair point I almost say sankomu ye yank bit ma avoided death just administration of intravenous fluids.
Wow.
In ambulance during even in the ambulance when you fluids the crowd man.
Yeah, the so and no no be say there would have been a certain balance of survival. So I think it should be a wake up call. Now the last time it's here Ninyaba also a medical doctor.
Yes.
Now at a certain point cry on the best medical professional or baby or one now mono ejini pankwa eye de omubetimi bia de omonkwa esi awawa ejini pankwa now when it matters most omo ankasa de hye na chese ya de aye de are na obi me unlimited no to say no bed syndrome and answer the maybe I believe say regardless of the challenges we have in your health logistical challenge
human attitude.
Yes, at sometimes the human attitude matters, and in every situation, so you can't say you be BBA, you be obi and somewhere I working. Say you didn't sue, you G be didn't sue a sinisono. Here bed now didn't sue a so. What you say?
Because I say even say ambulance nimpo na enye nsuo so almost say administration of intravenous fluid and whole blood at the police hospital rate and Akolebu could even have saved.
This is a clear case of, I would say, medical negligence on the part of some people now or how we are. This should be a clarion call to all your health professionals. Obi, maybe the me say so be nurse and now be doctor na you calling. Adwuma bebre and a wow ka so be kwakoye. Obi oye soldier ni. So ko or waji atum so be soldier. Oko enwuremu na oko protect your territorial integrity. Sometimes a niema obehia de abo or mine ho ban nyina no nya o. ebi wɔ ha sometimes aduane nyina kora kɔ shorto na mponkyerɛni ni awowo ɛna ɔmo yɛ dai ɔmo we what you say enti once why you adwene sɛ sɛ adwuma we na ɔbɛn na at every point in time you must give off your best send your ɛbɛyɛ a ensem we nya den konti ye betumi aka na sɛ ye bɛma abusia